All right. What is up? Welcome back to Unspecified Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for clicking on the video.
Good evening. Happy July 1st. Yeah,
Unspecified
July 1st.
Times. Welcome to another episode.
That's right.
Is it July 1st? Holy
It
crap.
is.
Well, awesome.
7/1/22.
Happy 1st.
So, okay, fine.
What's up, Cody? What's up?
Cody's cracking me up. 85 degrees here. I don't live up north for Satan's heat.
Dopey dude, what's up? Michael, what's up? Amber, good evening. Well, good evening for us.
Yes.
Central.
Yeah. Very
down,
late evening.
Down in the swamp.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so got a lot to get into, guys. Okay, it's
a doozy. It's a long one.
Spicy Friday, as
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo would say.
Like, we're just hanging out. We're just looking at the things that we can see.
And so, what's up with you guys? How's the goings and the doings doing the things?
Yeah. How's your week?
You know what I'm gonna say.
Happy Independence. Yes. Happy Independence weekend.
All right, let's shift gears. Look, okay, y'all remember that poo?
Yeah.
That poopy? That people?
That beer with
That beer, yeah,
with
New
the
Brew.
sewage water. New brew. For your poo poo. No poo poo with the new brew.
This is not your average can of beer. It's called New Brew and it's made of water recycled from sewage and urine. Despite how it sounds, Singapore's water agency says the water is clean enough to drink. They also want to take this chance to educate the public about water sustainability. Here's how the process works. Step 1. The water goes through microfiltration that removes small particles and bacteria. Step 2. Reverse osmosis ensures that bigger particles such as viruses are filtered out. Finally, the water goes through ultraviolet disinfection to make sure it's safe and clean enough for human consumption. New Brew was crafted by a local brewery in Singapore called Brewworks and first made its appearance in 2018. Now, it can be found in supermarket chains, online platforms, Brewworks restaurants, and e-store.
Using sewage water that's been treated and reused for drinking water isn't new, but I guess the idea of labeling beer as former piss is new. No.
Okay, but this is like, I know we talked about this yesterday.
Or the day
before, sorry. But it's like, well, I'll let you wait and show it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
What, the crap hitting the fan?
No, this New Brew poo water beer.
Oh yeah, everyone's talking
like
about it.
Everybody's talking about it.
Sewage and urine.
Okay, but like, so
Sewage
what?
and urine.
Is like recycled water the beer of the New World Order?
Ooh, yeah, actually. Soylent Green, or if you've ever seen Snowpiercer, where their food is all like bugs.
Right, exactly.
Or each other.
Yeah.
This is very,
Imagine 1990s you coming to the future and giving yourself this beer. And you're like, yeah, it's alright. It's weird. It's a little weird, but yeah, it's okay. And then you can be like, oh, cool, it's recycled poo water. And then it would be that iconic, no, this is all in my head.
No,
Okay, well, I see it. It's pretty much a movie. There we go. That's it. Case closed.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a movie, something like that.
If you put water on the plants, they'll grow.
I don't know. I see Sylvester Stallone. I think it's Judge Dredd.
No, it's if it's not Judge Dredd, then it's Demolition Man.
Yeah.
The three seashells.
I love it, Cody. Clean enough is what I say. What?
When I half-ass the dishes. No.
Clean enough, I'm dead. Oh, it's too funny.
Inventor of world's first cell phone. Put down your devices and get a life. This is the first guy. This is the guy that invented the cell phone.
Really?
Yep.
So what would you say to anybody like myself who are upwards of 5 hours?
Do you really spend 5 hours a day? I would say, Jane, get a life.
The inventor of the cell phone, Martin Cooper. But who spends 5 hours a day?
On a cell phone?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
It's an epidemic.
I don't spend
youths.
that much time on my phone.
Yeah, I don't either. I like to think I don't. I only am usually on my phone when I'm looking up stories that we can talk about.
So I can't. Yeah, I mean, or when I need to contact you, or when I'm sitting on the toilet. But I'm not sitting on the toilet for 5 hours a day.
That's right. That's right. You'd have it prolapsed.
Yikes.
It'd be bad.
Yikes. Earthquake swarm rattles South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me about it. You just gonna dangle it?
Dangling.
South Carolina has been hit by about 40 small magnitude earthquakes in less than a year. The largest, a magnitude 3.6, hit near Elgin, South Carolina Wednesday. None of the quakes have been severe enough to damage buildings, but
I thought this chick sounded like a computer. Holy cow.
residents worry there may be a larger quake coming. Luckily, researchers say this sequence of earthquakes doesn't necessarily mean there is a larger quake on the horizon. A series of small earthquakes happening without an identifiable main shock are known as earthquake swarms. Dr. Wendy Bohan told us that the South Carolina swarm is most likely to continue for a while before eventually tapering off.
While it may not help to know that more shaking is coming, it might help people to know that this is a fairly normal occurrence that happens all around the world all the time. Usually you have a bunch of earthquakes that happen and then it slowly dies off.
Historically,
I would like a second opinion. Voodoo face, dude. What's up, man?
No, no, you're not gonna just explain that away,
It's completely normal. It happens all the time.
Okay, except for it doesn't, or
Yeah.
else we wouldn't be quacking about it.
That's the truth.
Oy, oy, oy.
Das ist truth. Okay, Chinese firm bought North Dakota farm near U.S. Air Force drone base.
This hits close to home.
It does. You want to read a little bit of it?
Yeah, I suppose.
A Chinese company's purchase of farmland in North Dakota just down the road from a U.S. Air Force base that houses sensitive drone technology has lawmakers on Capitol Hill worried about potential espionage by Beijing, according to a report. The Fufang Group, a Shandong, China-based company that specializes in flavor enhancers and sugar substitutes, recently purchased 300 acres of farmland near Grand Forks, which is a special place.
That is a special place.
That's a special place in North Dakota. A rural area that lies about a 90-minute drive from the Canadian border, which is that's special too. I think it's special. Would you like to, can we say?
Yeah, go ahead. I was born in Grand Forks and grew up in North Dakota. And so, yeah, like, I remember as a kid, well, we never lived on, well, I guess we did as a young kid live on Grand Forks Air Force Base, but, we moved when I was 10.
I'm going to read this like a northerner. Grand Forks is also 40 miles away from Grafton, North Dakota.
That was pretty decent.
Where a limited liability company
Believed to be controlled by billionaire philanthropist
Bill Gates, check that guy out,
recently paid $13 million for thousands of acres of potato farmland, causing a stir amongst the locals,
So, look, we got this company, this firm out of Shandong, China, a Beijing connection, and Bill Gates, all buying. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we know that Bill Gates has been buying farmland all over the place.
Does it kind of feel like he just buys? No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say it feels like he just buys everywhere I've been.
That's funny.
It's not
China
funny.
is buying up some American farmland. The question is China doing that to spy on the U.S. military? Some lawmakers and intel officials say it's a real concern. The question centers around a controversial land sale between North Dakotans and a company with ties to Beijing. CBC's Eamon Javers spoke with some key players behind that deal.
This is Grand Forks Air Force Base in North Dakota, home of some of the nation's most sensitive technology, including the RQ-4 Global Hawk surveillance drone. And this property sits just about 20 minutes down the road, more than 300 acres of prime farmland. Earlier this year, 3 North Dakotans who owned parcels here sold this land for millions of dollars to a subsidiary of a Chinese company that says it wants to build a corn milling plant.
Now that transaction has come under scrutiny here in Washington, D.C., where some in the intelligence community warn that the deal should be blocked because it could offer Chinese spies unprecedented access to the American base.
It's an only in America kind of fight, pitting the property and economic rights of a community against national security warnings from high-ranking officials in the nation's capital. The Chinese company at the heart of the controversy is the Fufeng Group, based in Shandong, China. Its American subsidiary says the company is not a threat.
We're under U.S. laws. I'm an American citizen. I grew up my whole life here, and
You're a shill for the CCP. I'm just playing.
I know. I'm like, wait, where are you? Where's
That's what
here?
they call.
Are you in China?
In China, they call this guy. What do they call him?
White monkey.
That's right. That's right. They pay for like a face.
Yeah, that's right.
not going to be doing any type of espionage activities or be associated with a company that does.
The city's mayor says he just wants to do business.
Exactly what an
It's a $700 million
espionager would
plant,
say.
so that would really be the largest single investment in the city's history. The FBI,
so local government's all for it. It'd be the single largest investment in the city's history.
Listen, guys, we haven't seen
Town hasn't
money
been
like
the same.
this, right, in a long time. Okay.
So understandable why there's some concerns, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on. Gun permit process in New York could include social media check, which I know is barely news. Why am I bringing it to you? Because it's super a sign of the times. It's really weird that's where that's like that's just it's like now we're like, well, of course they're going to do that, but at the same time, that's just crazy that they're out in the open talking about that.
It was already weird that your work could
dystopic.
look at your Facebook and social medias. But now for a gun permit, I mean, what's next? Well, I was gonna say rent movies, but that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, let me tell you what you got to do. You gotta, because like this is what I did. Okay, all right. I don't know. VHS.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because
if you think, go ahead.
During a hurricane, which is our predicament. Okay,
Right.
we go through those sometimes. And I pray we don't. All right. But, through, praying, we come across these insane deals. We found this little TV VHS combo.
Right.
And then the, VHS tapes, there's like all the movies, all the old movies.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And like really rare ones.
So why VHS? Because you might be able to have electricity, but you may not be able to have internet in the area after a storm. Mm-hmm. And so just throwing that in there for anybody who...
And it doesn't use a whole lot of power, does it?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Those old TVs use a lot of power. But if you got a generator, you're burning gas anyway.
Right.
So what you plug in isn't really going to change how much gas you burn.
Well, I'm not saying watch movies nonstop, but a movie in the evening
Right, that's
can
another
be
point.
A good morale boost.
As a prep point, morale boosters...
Yep.
Morale boosters are things are like very closely assimilated to tradable bartering items,
right?
Like playing cards,
yep,
instant coffee, mini alcohol containers,
yep,
syrup,
It's just a little normalcy, especially for kids,
crayons,
yep,
yeah.
So
or like these little Game Boys that I got my kids. I don't know what they're called. It's like it's like a Chinese Game Boy.
Raspberry Pis.
But it comes with like all of the Nintendo, Sega.
Yeah, like all the Sega games.
And they're like $40.
Right.
And so was the VHS TV.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
So
exactly.
That's
and
crazy.
It's big. And
anyway,
it's just really...
the dystopic thing has gotten me off on a tangent about like how you can do things. Anyway, so.
Should authorities be able to deny handgun licenses for hateful tweets? A New York State senator is raising the question with a bill that would require applicants for handgun licenses to reveal their social media and online search histories.
It's a new time. It's a new technology. It's time that we, in fact, start having that conversation about how we monitor social media
Senator Kevin Parker's bill faces an uncertain future, and critics are raising constitutional issues. But the Brooklyn Democrat wants to spark more discussion about balancing public safety against online privacy. He notes that mass killers like the accused Pittsburgh synagogue shooter leave behind a trail of online hate.
We saw warnings and red flags in people's social media.
A lot of that now with the red flag laws and whatnot.
Right.
They're using it in their nomenclature and like.
Well, and then it begs the question, so what are they going to use? Are they going to use algorithm or are they going to use human? Because there's a lot left up for interpretation. Sarcasm, you're going to get if they're just using algorithm, you're going to get a lot of false denials or false. I don't know how to to say this right, but you're going to get a lot of like false warning signs pop up. That could prevent them erroneously just because it's misinterpreted.
Yeah. Biases and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The unique bill would give police access to 3 years of Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram postings. They all would check a year of internet searches.
What? Okay, it's okay. It doesn't matter what it said.
Applicants would turn over their login information. Critics say that's too intrusive.
First of all, it's far-reaching. I don't think the government should have access to anybody's history, especially...
It's hard to say social media, isn't it? You don't think the government should have access to social media, but Lil Wayne had a lyric way back in the day, and it was something like, the feds have Instagram too, or something like that, and people just post all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, and then so it's like you don't think they should have that access, but you put it out there. Social media means you're making it public.
Right.
Like you're showing everyone.
And then if somebody does something terrible, then people do tend to go back and scrutinize and look and say, okay, well look, this and this, could have been seen as warning signs. But I mean, that's just hindsight's 2020. You can't prevent things like that without kind of stomping the rights of many.
Well, it's like, do people change? Because you would think, like, hey, don't look, you know what I mean?
I don't know, maybe people don't change, but Christ in them changes.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like Christ giving them more, I don't know, just leading their life more towards Christ can change people.
That's right.
For a pistol permit.
Under the New York bill, police would look not only for online threats, but for racial or ethnic slurs. One prominent civil rights attorney believes that last provision could run afoul of the Constitution.
Someone engages in a racial or religious slur in a comment on a Facebook.
And that's like all they're concerned with.
Right.
Is like, maybe they have a rebel flag or a racial slur.
Right.
They definitely shouldn't have a gun if they, you know what I mean?
Well, right, exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right, moving on.
But, if just overreaching, watch out.
All right, now, follow me on this one. New York Police Department is posing as Amazon, full stop. All right, hold up. Posing as Amazon. And I try to go look up to see if I could get a video on this. And the first thing I find is this story where, what's it say? It says, Amazon delivery driver accused of attempted sexual assault. And then we go back, and then it says, New York Police Department is posing as Amazon and FedEx drivers to arrest sexual offenders on the subway. So I know it's two different stories, but it's really... So, that's enough of that, but you want to look at this one?
Take it where you will.
Now to a wild story out of Turlock tonight. An Amazon delivery driver on the attack. Cell phone video shows him being restrained after he allegedly tried to sexually assault a woman inside her home. Tonight, that woman is still shaken by the terrifying encounter.
CBS 13's Steve Large is in Turlock with the heart-pounding video and the emotional interview. Steve?
Well, this was a chaotic scene, and the woman who was attacked is also the mother of 4. Thankfully, her children were not at home to witness what happened. Cell phone video captures this insane Amazon delivery. An Amazon box sitting at the front door, the delivery driver being held down inside.
What happened, man? I didn't know you out.
Moments earlier, he was hopping a fence and running to the back of the home, where he allegedly broke through a window to get inside. The stunning cell phone sequence all after the driver had already allegedly tried sexually assaulting the woman who lives here. How are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm very nervous. I can't sleep. And, I'm always crying now.
Maria Lopez says she had just gotten out of the shower when this Amazon driver walked through the front door uninvited.
His expression changed when he saw me with the towel, and his eyes opened wide, like a monster or something.
Turlock police have...
Okay, that's terrible. But, the times are changing, man, where things are getting bad. Because, like that New Orleans story you just showed me where a woman got shot in broad daylight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, you're starting to see, like, the how do I say, the evil increasing.
Oh,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean?
Absolutely. But I'll say, this video doesn't show the Amazon driver attacking. If anything, it just shows him being held down. So, unless, her saying that he tried to assault her is the only thing that keeps this from being false imprisonment.
Well, what do you think?
I'm sure I don't think anything. It's just, I'm just noticing that, the media, what I think is that the media really clings to the fact that they have any footage at all. And they're like, look at this attack. And it's like, no, there's really not
they're
an
trying to
attack
say,
on here.
what would justify them, arresting the guy.
Right.
But you're right. Maybe
it does show him jumping the fence, but that's weird. I feel like there's definitely more to that story. But it is interesting, and
this is serious. This is like, all right. Do we talk about it?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Nah, but I saw a meme. This article from The Guardian. A quarter of Americans open to taking up arms against government. Poll says, and a meme said that it only took 3% during the revolutionary situation.
Now
and now this is a quarter.
But that's a survey of 1,000. Also reveals that most Americans agree government is corrupt and rigged. Wow.
More than 1/4 of U.S. residents feel so estranged from their government that they feel it might soon be necessary to take up arms. Now, interesting. Which, because at this point now, the waters are muddied.
Right.
And so it's like, do you think this is a left opinion or a right opinion? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point.
This survey of 1,000 registered U.S. voters published by the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics also revealed that most Americans agree the government is corrupt and rigged against everyday people like me. The data suggests that extreme polarization in U.S. politics and its impact on Americans' relationship with each other remains strong. These statistics come as a congressional committee is holding public hearings on the January 6th, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But look, something someone said is like, man, if they're really that polarized, they really don't get out enough. You know what I mean? Now, I know that there's some crazy ish going on out there.
Absolutely.
But, for a lot of us in a lot of small towns or a lot of, not even small towns, if you try to talk to somebody or help somebody out, it's not really all that they're making it out to be. This is definitely, purposeful division, problem, reaction, solution, cause, and they want this to happen, just like they wanted the other ones to happen.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The folks at the very tip top, they profit the most when.
Yep.
Anywho's.
So I'm surprised even that this was able to, well, I shouldn't be. It's a freedom of speech. It's a freedom of press. But I am surprised that this was even able to make it as a headline.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'll read this. This deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol stemmed from the false, partisan, pro-Donald Trump belief that Joe Biden did not win the 2020 election.
True.
Rioters attempted to thwart certification of the election. Did they now? Did they? I mean, if you look at the picture of the guy like waving and smiling, you know what I mean? I don't know. Let's see. The survey indicates that distrust in government varies among party lines. While 56% of participants said they generally trust elections to be conducted fairly and counted accurately, Republicans, Democrats, and independents were dramatically split on this point. Nearly 80% of Democrats voiced overall trust in elections, but that number dipped to 51% among independents and a mere 33% of Republicans. Per the poll, 49% of Americans concurred that they more and more feel like a stranger in my own country. And again, this number reflected sharp political divisions. The sentiment was held by 69% of self-described strong Republicans, 65% of self-described very conservative persons, and 38% of strong Democrats. Of the 28% of voters who felt it might soon be necessary to take up arms against the government, 37% had guns in their homes, according to the data. 1/3 of Republicans, including 45% of strong Republicans, hold this belief about taking up arms. 35% of independent voters and 20% of Democrats also agreed, the poll said.
I just want to know, like...
I don't 100% trust these numbers.
Exactly, because...
Okay. But it answered one of my questions that it's coming from all three.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because some folks, like, if you just randomly were approached on the middle of the street by somebody who was like, hey, just curious if you're interested in taking a bar, like, you'd be, no, check no, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know where this is coming from. But apparently it's coming from Chicago. This is from the Chicago...
Okay, Chicago is
Institute
its own country, first of all.
Chicago Institute of Politics.
That's right. All right.
So that's what that is. If you guys want to go read that more, now you see, you can... look that up. I'm sure you guys, can deduce way more than me. TikTok confirms that China-based employees can access user data, but only through an approval process. Now, that sounds like a whole bunch of hogwash.
Right.
Okay? Because this video from dang near 2 weeks ago talks about the same thing, but listen to what they have to say. It's not live. Well, this is
leaked audio from 80 internal TikTok meetings showing that TikTok employees based in China have, quote, repeatedly accessed U.S.
Real world prepper, brother. Dude, what is up? Good evening. Wow. Awesome to see you, man.
Good to see you. What's up,
users' data for the last several months. Jennifer Schomburger is tracking this story for us. And Jennifer, we know that this has been in question and something that the U.S. government has talked about numerous times in the past. But what can you tell us about this new report?
Good afternoon, Shauna. That's right. A new report out showing that Chinese employees of popular app TikTok have gained access to U.S. user data, potentially exposing Americans' personal information to China's government. All of this raising questions about whether the company misled U.S. lawmakers about employees' access to U.S. data. BuzzFeed reports that leaked audio from more than 80 internal TikTok meetings reveals that China-based employees of TikTok parent company ByteDance have repeatedly accessed non-public data about U.S. TikTok users, though unclear whether the Chinese government has used this data for spying. Lawmakers and U.S. intelligence are concerned TikTok's data collection, including audio and users' location, offers the potential for the Chinese government to gain access to information. Now, a TikTok executive told lawmakers last October in testimony that TikTok's user data is stored in the U.S. and does not share information with the Chinese government. TikTok has announced that it would move all data from its American users through servers controlled by Oracle in Texas, but it also reportedly said it would still store its own backups of that information.
Right, of course. Right.
Okay. And then, if you know how the CCP works, okay,
which we will use at our discretion.
Okay. Don't think that they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's.
It's comical. It's really comical, y'all. I saw this. I thought this was interesting. Nearly 40,000 Army Guard troops still unjabbed for the Wuhan wiggle as deadline passes for them to get the shots. So it's passed.
I've almost forgotten that this was an issue.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, who cares, right?
Yeah, and
does anybody? Are y'all? Maybe we're just extremely blessed. Are y'all asked about your jab status on the day-to-day?
Well, also the zeitgeist is so full of information, like Burkowski, or what was that guy's name? You know, where there's so much information that no one really knows what's going on,
right,
because there's so
right.
much going on.
Yeah, on any given time.
Tens of thousands of U.S. service members, they have until this Thursday to get the COVID vaccine, or they could be forced out. Joe Khalil, how many soldiers could be dismissed?
It is a huge percentage, Adrian. Again, we're talking about Thursday, that deadline fast approaching, the last day for Army National Guard soldiers and Army reservists to get their vaccinations or be forced out of service. And again, we're talking about a substantial number at risk of being kicked out. Roughly 40,000 have not yet gotten their vaccines, and that number actually jumps to 60,000 if you also count Army reservists. That's about more than 12% of the entire Guard and Reserve force. So clearly, again, significant numbers there. The National Guard is a bit of an outlier, however, when we're talking about these things. When you look at some of the other branches, the National Guard is the lowest vaccinated branch by far. According to figures from the Pentagon that were released back in December, 98% of active duty Army soldiers are vaccinated, 97% of Navy sailors, and 95% of the Air Force. Their deadlines for mandatory vaccines all came back up in December. It was extended for the National Guard. So if these guardsmen don't get their vaccines by Thursday, they will no longer be paid when they're called on or activated. Others are not going to get activated for domestic missions at all. Now, in an interview with the Associated Press, Lieutenant General John Jensen, who's the director of the National Guard, said that the Pentagon is still encouraging the remaining unvaccinated guardsmen to go and get their shots before the deadline. He expects that many of them are going to do so before Thursday. And Jensen also said that they're going to continue to support the roughly 7,000 National Guard soldiers who are claiming for an exemption. Almost all of those, Adrian, are for religious reasons.
Thank you.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that? Okay, so there's that. Now, back into some more of the futuristic,
right,
dystopic, whatever you want to say.
It a doom break,
is it
perhaps?
Dystopic? Okay, so we got a little bit of a doom break. It's not really a doom break, but this is still news.
Okay, go ahead.
So so fireworks are out. Drone shows are in this 4th of July.
We don't have to read. We can do but I want to watch it.
Well, this year's 4th of July celebration will be a little
It's not just in Galveston.
Right, that's right.
In Galveston, instead of the traditional fireworks display, the island will be celebrating with a patriotic drone show. Fox 26's Natalie He is in Galveston.
Well, not only are the drones meant to be more environmentally friendly, authorities say they'll also be a huge help to people and pets sensitive to loud noises.
Fireworks on the 4th of July. That's so last year.
We are the only Texas coast destination that's utilizing drone shows for the 4th of July.
This year in Galveston, drones will light up the sky instead.
Drones? Sounds awesome. Oh yeah, I'm ready for it.
They had no
clue
all about it.
I'm coming.
We're living in the future.
I'm ready to start flying.
Well, imagine.
We're living in the future. Ready to start flying.
He's like,
wait, just wait, because just wait. I'm not.
These 200 drones will be.
The second part of the of this is like, oh yeah, she's like, we're the only ones, you know, and so guess who that's just like. China.
Okay, play it. This is what you could experience. No. I have no idea what these all say.
I didn't realize how much China was going to be in the show tonight.
Oh yeah, it's a lot now. I didn't realize either. them setting up the drones.
Is this too fast?
No, I don't think so. Ooh, wow. Ooh, Okay, I'm just saying, if UFOs arrive on 4th of July, don't buy it. It's drones. Look at that. That's amazing. I mean, like, holy moly. Wow.
Which we saw this at the
New Year's.
New Year's, that's right.
A little bit. Stop it. That
Wait,
was so
wait.
fun. Okay, go ahead.
So, you know, fireworks are out. Drones are the new trend for...
Launched out over the Gulf. They'll be in patriotic configurations. You can also download an app on your phone that'll you can listen to patriotic music. We have a playlist. It's with 99.1 KODA.
Drone show spectacles have become increasingly popular at large-scale events like the 20...
All right. Doom break over. You can also hack them, okay? Imagine Lord of the Rings when
And then boom, we're right back to bat for the environment again.
Imagine Lord of the Rings when the fire, the little hobbits set off that dragon firework and it comes after everybody.
Wow.
Imagine that with drones.
We're
Terrifying.
like right there.
Okay, also, drones are not always super friendly. Okay, I'm just saying.
That's true.
And even on best case, worst case scenario, so like it's a bad scenario, but it's like the best case of the bad scenarios. Kind of. Okay, but so like let's say the battery dies or malfunction or something. Can you imagine that thing falling and hitting you from the sky?
Well, they have a specific little drone. I wish I'd had a video for this. I didn't know we were going to go that deep. Where, it can target a human head and like fly right at it and has a small little charge.
That's
and it
terrible.
Detonates.
Okay, but then also the pops are what lets you know when to I don't know, because it's gonna be super quiet and everybody's gonna be like, oh,
Kelly says
it's gonna be weird.
The Army is having a huge recruitment problem already. They can't really afford to lose anyone just because they didn't take the jab.
That's right. Well, and remember they were letting people with tattoos.
That's hilarious. Dave the Mace says Chinese the ones making fireworks. Oh man,
that's funny.
What are we doing? Awesome Nail Tech, what's up? Oh man, Texas Power used to break records next week as heat wave returns.
Heat wave. Be careful if you're outdoors today. Yesterday afternoon, MedStar emergency crews treated 10 people for heat-related injuries. And indoors, you're probably cranking up the AC, but this morning some North Texans are waking up without power.
Boy, tough time of year to be without electricity as we are tracking some outages across North Texas this morning. Chris Sadeghi joins us live from Dallas as we always worry about the strength of our electric grid during times like these, Chris.
Yes, it really has been ingrained into us to conserve when we can. You know, the first day of summer isn't until next week, but we have already hit triple digits. And yesterday we set a new record for energy demand. It is a sign that we should probably buckle up for this summer. Yesterday we had that demand reach just over 75,000 megawatts across the state. That was around 5:20.
Great Scott!
Yeah, well,
Great
wow.
Scott! I mean, it just reminds me of Back to the Future. So what they're saying is that, now we're not going to be able to... So where did this, oh, man.
Awesome Nail Tech, yes, I would love to hear.
What's up?
I was given some prophecy tonight while praying. I'd love to share with you if you want.
Yes, indeed.
I hate my boxers. I came right. Well, there you go. There you go.
Yesterday evening, according to ERCOT, that is the new record for demand, breaking the previous record set in August of 2019. Now, the good news is the energy grid had about 10,000 megawatts to spare, so there was enough supply to meet the demand. In fact, we looked at ERCOT's supply and demand tracker website. They are forecasting they'll be able to maintain that margin throughout the day today, but we should probably get used to checking this website often, because because we know how these Texas summers can be, and the heat is starting earlier than usual this year. There were some outages across the area yesterday, but not related to the power grid supply. Instead, Encore told us that about 3,000 customers were affected Sunday because of the increased load being put on the transformers. So the increased stress and the heat on the infrastructure caused some of those outages, and there were still some customers.
So that's what they're saying.
Right.
Okay. So that the heat is playing a factor in that the parts are heating up so bad that, so is this like normal heat, or is this a whole new kind of, because I mean, you can, I don't remember exactly which video it was back that we did, where we did a whole section where we showed that there were scientists that, you know, and I'm not talking about chemtrails, I'm talking about they sent like balloons up.
Right.
And it had like calcium in it or something like that. And they were, you know, and there were people being called conspiracy theorists and getting knocked off the platform because people were saying that, you know, Bill Gates is trying to, you know, blot out the sun.
But literally, they
But
have
that's what he was doing.
articles, right? Exactly, saying just that.
So we talk about that a lot specifically.
Right.
And now I bring that up to contrast what's going on with this heat now, or am I just being a big wimp?
No, this heat has been, now this week has been
We've,
okay.
right, down here in the South, we've been blessed with storms.
But this has
But I'm
been
talking about
terrible.
the, you know, just.
Oh, hang on, there was a problem with the server.
Oh, really?
Hang on. Are y'all,
Yeah,
we live?
Everything. Refresh that.
Okay. Alright, sounds good.
We're still 5x5?
5x5.
Alright, cool. But do you guys notice anything with the heat? Is it abnormally different?
It's hot, and I'm exhausted. Like, I'm
Because
telling you.
I think they're playing with it. Technicolor, you seem Technolificer NOS. If you really want to understand what's happening with the climate, see, it seems like you know what's up.
Technolosifer.
Yeah, I need to look into it deeper.
Yeah,
But
I'm interested. I really am actually gonna.
I don't put very much past the world's elite, so.
That's right.
Affected at this hour, according to the Encore's outage page, still a few hundred without power. Now, we were in Corinth yesterday, where the fire department, they knew the situation with the outages, so they were going door to door in those neighborhoods that were affected to make sure everybody was safe, that nobody was getting overheated. They also set up an emergency services shelter.
So not only may your power go out, but then they're going to do wellness checks, which is probably necessary, because I've heard folks say that it would kill folks.
But it does get you used to it, doesn't it?
Oh boy. All right, look, I want to move on, but this next topic requires some segueing into, because we're going from talking about that's all we ever do. It's why it's Unspecified podcast. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Look, we're going to be talking about some Canadian news here. Okay. This is about the CRTC, from my understanding, is a lot like the FCC, the Canadian. It's their federal version of communication control and or regulation. And the CRTC ruling signals how Bill C-11 could be used to regulate internet content. Okay.
A lot of Canadian.
We can get into it, but look.
Right. A lot of Canadian YouTubers are
speaking out about how this new bill is really trying to segregate, if you will, Canadians' reach to the outside world. Exactly. So these folks we won't see YouTube content or like social media and that hurts everybody, because then if they're about to, because you know how deep in Justin Trudeau is with China. I mean, and he
this is very
I can look
China-like.
I can look up videos of Justin Trudeau talking about how much he admires Xi and the things that Xi Jinping does, and so something could be going down, or I don't know, man. This is I wanted to bring it out to your radar here. Not that we can do very much about it, but.
Because if it's happening there, it can happen anywhere.
Pray about it. That's right.
Imagine.
That's why we pay attention to things that are happening in Los Angeles or New York or Canada, because if it's happening there, it's not happening here. That's right. And we can see it happening somewhere, and we can speak out about it. Yeah. So that way.
Tammy said, my husband works outside, and he said it's been way hotter than this time last year. I believe that.
Exactly. That's my point.
Let's see here. Mary Ann says it's more draining. Normally I can handle 90 degrees plus. Right. That's what I was just thinking.
Kelly says that Canada is getting its own Great Firewall.
Right.
Which is oddly reminiscent because we know of another we know of another country that has a Great Wall. Look, guys, I don't mean to be so CC paranoid over here, okay? All right, but we have a clear.
Where's he laughing?
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Just I guess we all need to be just praying. That's my solution.
Yep.
That's what I'm doing. But look, if you just look up Bill C11, you can find all these different YouTube. Some of these people you may know, like Linus Tech Tips, if you've ever heard of him. But plenty of channels from Canada talking about it, but also plenty of them aren't.
Right.
So, did that pretty much cover it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay,
yeah.
yes, here we go.
The latest.
Did we get... No, we didn't. Oh, man. This is supposed to be like the latest...
in Bigfoot videos.
Do you see him? Is that Bigfoot?
Whoa.
All right, yeah, that's officially creepy, but I think it's fake.
Damn.
Fake.
It could be.
I don't know.
Who even gets excited about Bigfoot anymore? This is 2022.
I'll always get excited about Bigfoot, okay? So, towering creature could be Bigfoot after being filmed as it's not a bear.
It's not a bear.
New footage that allegedly captures the infamous Bigfoot has given hundreds of commenters a new look at the beast, with the Sasquatch spotted in freaky new footage by a Reddit user. Good old Reddit, that's what they're good for. I don't know. It looks real... It's either old footage. I don't know.
Petey says we're becoming China, and Ottawa is literally in a police state during Canada Day in Ottawa. Yeah.
Oofta. We got more Canadian news to get into. Oh, Canada. Hold on. We're about to start getting into some Biden doing stuff news and articles, and I want to start here. This is where I want to start.
Starting point.
Oh my God! Okay, it's everybody calm. Everybody stay calm.
I would like you to crunch those numbers again. Just crunch them. Just crunch them, please.
So if you're not an Office fan, that's probably...
Crunch.
That's probably not very funny, but...
Eric says, WCF, why is Bigfoot footage always 35 millimeter? I'm saying. That's exactly right, because the zoom, that's why, because nobody wants to get close. Chickens, get out there.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't want to do that.
I just thought this headline was interesting. Biden advisors liberal world order demands enduring high gas prices. Okay. I wonder, is this a video?
We could bring down tomorrow, if Congress agreed and the states agreed, we could bring down the price of oil about $1 a gallon at the pump, in that range. And so we could have immediate relief in terms of the reduction of the elimination of temporary elimination of the gas tax. And so I think there's a lot of things we can do and we will do, but the bottom line is, ultimately, the reason why gas prices are up is because of Russia.
Ah, of course.
Thank you for paraphrasing it. When he stuffs a lot of words into a bucket, I get a little confused here. The reduction of the wait, the what? The
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were reading that.
No, I'm just joking around, but like, because the way he was introducing it was jumbly. But then here I am jumbling over my words too,
No,
so
sorry,
I get
it's
what
my
I
fault.
judge for.
Here's a realistic explanation to the legend of alternative humanoids. What? The dude, chat's on fire, man. What? Legend of alternative evolution is not linear. Wow.
Joe Biden donkey carts for sale. Love it.
Biden seeks to block new offshore drilling in Atlantic and Pacific. 5-year drilling plan could allow limited new oil leasing off Alaska and in Gulf of Mexico. Oil industry sought greater expansion. I guess it's not going to happen. Is this a video?
The average price for gas in the U.S.?
No, we saw this video. That's not.
Well,
I'm just saying, watch out, folks, because, I mean, they're trying to squeeze everything out that they can.
Yep.
So...
They go off to school wondering whether when mom comes and picks them up, is she not going to be there because an ICE agent was there to arrest her? Or she takes them to the doctor that she's going to not be there because she is, quote, undocumented and an ICE agent is going to pick them up.
So how do you change the culture?
You change the culture by saying you're going to get fired. You're fired if, in fact, you do that.
Oh.
You only arrest for the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
Invisible disbelief. Oh, man. Oh,
wait.
man.
Hold on.
I just wanted to throw some funnies in there.
I mean, so the idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard. No one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child. What the fuck?
Let's go, Brandon!
Abort a child.
I'm sorry about that, y'all. Fickle finger of fate. That's right, Draper One, man. I know.
Oofta.
Yeah, Wuhan sees the virus return days after Xi reinforces the Wuhan Wiggle Zero plan. Okay.
Oh, well, isn't that handy?
Yeah, Wuhan Wiggle, or the virus, has returned to the central Chinese city where it first emerged.
Oh, how
with
poetic.
2 cases reported in Wuhan and a swelling outbreak in a neighboring province that's already seen counties locked down. Okay. So, I guess they might want you to start getting afraid of this again.
Okay, 2
I don't
port
know.
workers in Wuhan came down with asymptomatic COVID infections. So they didn't even have symptoms. Authorities said Friday. Okay, well, that's okay. We'll just leave that there. Anyway, so,
What's that meme where it says that if the government can create emergency powers to take rights or to do stuff, then it will create emergencies to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So China is like why are we talking about China so much? Every article, not every article, but I mean, goodness gracious. All right. Now, this one's really just about, a chief health officer in Australia has signaled a possible return of mask mandates.
No!
In Australia. Okay.
Oh, no.
Let me see. Did this have a video? A video.
I'd really rather not.
The Wuhan. Yeah, the Wuhan virus.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it'll let it play.
I hope it will.
A highly infectious new mutant COVID strain
She
has
looks
been
irritated.
discovered in Victoria. A descendant of stealth Omicron, the BA.2.12.1 Omicron subvariant, was recently found in a southeast Melbourne wastewater catchment. It's a sublineage of the BA.2 Omicron variant, which remains the dominant coronavirus strain in Victoria and around the world. early.
Oh, dang. Guns, Games, and Gadgets channel. We'll be praying for you, brother. He says he's in the ER again till Tuesday. That's awful.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
That's awful, man. I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Evidence shows it is more transmissible, but doesn't cause more severe disease.
So, put on your masks, folks.
Well, hopefully.
Now, this is the beginning, okay, of the layoff talk that we're going to start.
Right.
Because of our situation where our hours just got cut, okay?
Yep.
And then, look, here it goes, okay? Meta slashes hiring plans, girds for fierce headwinds. So what's that tell you? Okay. Reuters, Facebook owner Meta Platforms Incorporated has cut plans to hire engineers by at least 30% this year. CEO Mark Zuckerberg told employees on Thursday as he warned them to brace for a deep economic downturn.
Wow.
If I had to bet, I'd say that this might be one of the worst downturns that we've seen in recent history, Zuckerberg told workers in a weekly employee question and answer session, audio of which was heard by Reuters. Meta has reduced its target for hiring engineers in 2022 to around 6,000 to 7,000, down to an initial plan to hire about 10,000 new engineers, Zuckerberg said. Meta confirmed hiring pauses in broad terms last month, but exact figures have not previously been reported. In addition to reducing hiring, he said, the company was leaving certain positions unfilled in response to attrition and turning up the heat on performance management to weed out staffers unable to meet more aggressive goals.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's not the only one with more aggressive goals, but here, this is what you were saying.
Right. Look at all these. Okay, so San Francisco gaming tech company, layoffs, and Michigan sneaker resale. Let's see here. In tech, let's see, going down. That's that StockX. Yep. Tesla, Coinbase, Netflix, and others. Yeah, I'm just saying these are all within just the last 2 days. News articles. There's a lot of layoffs. Oh, look there. Layoffs are coming. The outsourcing industry. So anyway, just be on the lookout, I suppose.
That's right. That's right. Zoom firing. Are virtual layoffs the future?
If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group being laid off. Your employment here is terminated effective immediately. It's been a really, really challenging decision to make. This is the second time in my career I'm doing this, and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. This time I hope to be stronger.
This time I don't care as much.
We are laying off about 15% of
This time I'm getting better at it.
That's right.
the company.
You gotta be kidding me.
The market has changed, as you know, and we have to move with it in order to survive.
Okay.
Wow.
Zoom firing. Okay. Some companies have laid off workers via group video calls. As remote work proliferates, workers may need to get used to the idea they could be fired virtually.
Makes sense. It's just, the left remaining grows cold, and if they're on a TV screen instead of in person,
A large amount of layoffs.
Thing. Right. Oh, yeah.
Large amount of layoffs, large amount of food plants burning down, food processing centers burning down. Okay. Well, a lot of weird things going on. Okay. A lot of ramping up. Sorry about that. Stock markets post worst first half of a year in over 5 decades. Okay. Moving right along. Bitcoin just had its worst month on record. Bitcoin just finished the worst month in 12 years that it's been available on exchanges, losing more than 38% of its value in June as of Thursday afternoon. Okay. Ether, the world's second biggest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, ended the same period down by about 47%. Oof. That's half, man. All right. So, All right, so we stroll right through finances and then we get right into Tesla. Okay. Hit with new lawsuit alleging racial abuse against black workers. Okay.
Really?
Well, this isn't the only thing with his workers going on. Elon Musk intensifies his crackdown on working from home. Tesla is now tracking how frequently staffers swipe into the office and warning them if they don't show up often enough, which really just turns out the company is tracking how many times people swipe into the office.
Yeah, but I bet that's not it. Because, I mean, if you think about it, think about those articles we read the last few times about, just different programs that can monitor you.
That's right.
And so if you think Tesla isn't doing that, I would be surprised. I mean, I'm sure lower level don't have to worry about it so much, but, those in the higher echelon of the company, I think would absolutely have to think about if they're getting, spied on, quote unquote, looked in on.
Now, this is just kind of comical. Elon Musk takes unusually long Twitter break.
This is where we're at.
Well, I mean, so that's like news. If Elon doesn't tweet,
right,
that's news.
Yeah, well, I mean, same with Trump. If he hadn't tweeted or something, people would be like, "What's the matter?
Where are we?" Billionaire is trying complete a planned $44 billion deal to buy the social media platform. Okay. So he's on his longest stretch without posting on Twitter in nearly 5 years, a 9-day hiatus that comes in the midst of tumultuous efforts to complete his planned $44 billion deal to buy the platform. So he's going to buy it, then he doesn't, then he's going to buy it, then he doesn't.
Right.
Or he's not going to now. And now he is again? I don't know.
No clue.
Anyway.
I'm tired of being jerked along with his buying of social media.
It's distraction. This is distraction.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Elon Musk gives official reveal date for Tesla's humanoid AI robot, Optimus.
Oh, yeah. This is the one that...
Go ahead.
Everett, some big news coming in again with Elon Musk. He's warning he could walk away from his $44 billion takeover deal of Twitter. That's if Twitter doesn't provide data on fake and spam accounts. This is the first time Musk has formally put this warning in writing, as opposed to tweeting, of course. Lawyers for the Tesla and SpaceX CEO made the threat in a letter to Twitter. Twitter had previously downplayed Musk's threats here. So what is the legality of all of this? I want to bring in David DiPietro. David, you've worked on contracts like this in the past.
Hold up.
What are your initial thoughts? I mean, what is Musk trying to do with this?
It could be a number of things. I think the most important thing is what did Twitter represent to Musk about the size of their customer base? If their subscribers were much less and that was represented to him, a much higher number, he may have be able to get out of the contract. He may be able to sue for.
That's an excellent point, Cody. Since when is firing someone for not showing up a bad thing? This over here.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yep. Like, basically because he's returned over on the whole working from home thing.
Uh-huh.
So Elon Musk gives official reveal date for the new humanoid AI robot.
Okay, you guys, I'm so excited because Tesla sent me a Tesla bot prototype to try out. It's a little dinged up because they only have one, so don't mind the scratches and stuff. But yeah, comment down below, let me know what you okay. Comment down below what you want me to test with this thing, and I will get to it. I'll make a video. Okay.
All right, so what do you think?
Okay, well, hilarious, right? That's just a person in a suit, right?
I think it's... I think it's CGI.
But the shadow.
Tesla sent me
CGI.
a Tesla bot prototype to try out. It's a little dinged up because they only have one, so don't mind the scratches and stuff. But yeah, comment down below, let me know what you okay. Comment down below what you want me to test with this thing.
Kelly says, "Oh, that's creepy."
Yeah, it is creepy. So that's what it's supposed to look like when it's all done. And if it's not done by the time that he says, then he'll just have somebody wear a suit that looks like that again.
Well, I mean, he's done
fine.
that. He's
exactly.
It's CGI, so I mean, I don't know.
That's a person in a suit, man. Not real. Yeah, no, for sure not real. But I couldn't tell if it was a person in a suit or if it's CGI. CGI.
Could be both. I don't know. We'll get rid of some of this. Is your new car a threat to national security? Putting sensor-packed Chinese cars on Western roads could be a privacy issue. Just ask Tesla.
Really?
What?
Wow. So a lot of China, a lot of Elon.
A lot of China, a lot of Elon, yeah. Starting this week, Teslas won't be welcome in the Chinese resort town of Bedai. Oof, that's really close to Bedai. The electric cars are strictly banned on the streets of the coastal city for the next 2 months as senior communist leadership descends on the city for a secret conclave. It's not the first time either. The city of Chengdu barred Teslas in advance of a June visit from President Xi Jinping, Reuters reported. While some military sites have similarly forbade Elon Musk's flagship product, while no official reason was released, the ban seemed to be out of concern that the vehicle's impressive array of sensors and cameras may offer a line of sight into meetings of Beijing senior leadership. Okay. It's a curious move. China is increasingly one of the most connected countries in the world. Chinese industry has even tried to brand Chengdu as the 5G Joy City, where locals are encouraged to stream their daily lives. Wow. Okay, Tesla may be one of the most popular electric vehicle brands in China with upwards of 500,000 vehicles on the roads, but it is not itself Chinese. The firm has acquiesced to Beijing's data localization demands, setting up a dedicated data center in China, but it cannot shake the characterization that it is a foreign company and, therefore, a national security threat.
Wow.
It's not a concern unique to Xi's government. A Chinese automakers gear up for a big push into the West. Anxieties are already mounting as to how those vehicles could phone their robust trove of data home. Okay? But hold up, because I'm not done talking about cars.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Tom. One of the most concerning things that our industry has learned that's in the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, that's the 2,700-page bill that our government passed back in August. Well, it's a measure mandating a vehicle backdoor kill switch in every vehicle by 2026. Let me explain. This clause is intended to increase vehicle safety by passively monitoring the driver of a motor vehicle to accurately identify whether that driver may be impaired or not. So that's a little concerning. Let's get in a little bit more detail here. By 2026, vehicles sold in the U.S. will be required to automatically and silently record various metrics of driver performance, which includes listening to you in your car, tracking your eyes, and then making a decision whether or not you will be...
And then I hear people like gloat about, oh, my computer has eye tracking. Right. It can track my eyes. It's so cool. What? That's so cool,
that
dude.
That is not cool.
What are you? You have lost your...
Hey, I know too many people that are crazy when they drive alone. That like your car's gonna pull you over because you're acting a fool.
It's gonna turn over and turn. It's gonna pull over and turn off.
That's right.
Dragon Slayer, what's up, brother?
What does it do for people falling asleep? Do you think it turns off for them too? I don't know. Too many. Overall, we're seeing a big picture of a lot of programs, whether it be computer, car, or otherwise, are looking back at you.
They've been doing that.
That's right.
Allowed to continue to use your own vehicle. Even worse, the measure goes on to require that the system be open to remote access by authorized third-party entities. The passage of this bill was unearthed by former Georgia Representative Bob Barr. And more pressing than these privacy concerns are the safety issues, including an automatic kill switch with internet access, which could create a new pathway for bad actors. We already know hackers already can access your vehicle and the vehicle's computer. This new kill switch system presents the obvious scenario that a malicious agent could disable your vehicle remotely with no warning. Even if the remote access part of this mandate doesn't come to pass, this is still astonishingly short-sighted. For example, would police need a warrant to access your recorded data? Would it be available to insurance companies or medical professionals? What if you are late on your car payment? Does the lender have the ability, or will they be allowed to remotely disable your vehicle? Certainly beyond these concerns of who would be allowed official access, there's once again that ever-present fear of hackers gaining access to your vehicle, which we all know it's going to happen sooner or later. Something to consider: the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution to protect citizens from unreasonable search and seizure. It assumes people enjoy a right to privacy in certain places, and I would assume that includes your car. The information I just gave you is from Lauren Fix, the car coach. More information about what I just talked about is available at laurenfix.com. And for more information about what our electronics shop does for your vehicle, check out our website, enormous.net. That's ENORMIS.
Awesome.
So imagine like you're a political figurehead or some bigwig anywhere, rich person, and a hacker hacks your vehicle, and you essentially are delivered to your kidnapper. You know what I mean? Like,
or, you know, that's terrifying.
you know what I mean? Like, delivered.
Or
to...
the police deem you unsafe and they like lock the car and then they like command it to go to the... I don't know.
Right,
man.
right. Like,
I don't know.
The sky's the limit.
All right. So, Technolificer Nos, speaking of AI, AI predicts crime a week in advance with 90% accuracy.
Dang it. My segue for that was going to be our next stop in dystopic future.
Our next stop in dystopic future talk.
Thank you.
Okay. An artificial intelligence that scores crime data can predict the location of crimes in the coming week with up to 90% accuracy, but there are concerns how systems like this can perpetuate. Go ahead.
Perpetuate
bias. All right.
Wait a minute, but aren't they gathering data?
It will tell you what's going to happen in future, says University of Chicago professor. It's not magical. There are limitations, but it works really well. For the first time, a machine learning program that uses artificial...
Minority Report,
That's
exactly.
right.
Dragon
That's right.
Slayer, exactly.
Self-proclaimed.
Intelligence has been shown to accurately forecast crimes 1 week in advance. The algorithm was developed by University of Chicago researchers utilizing data on past crimes
One-eye
to forecast
symbolism.
future occurrences in 1,000 square foot zones. 8 significant U.S. cities, including Chicago, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia, hosted technological demonstrations. The instrument is similar to the crime predictions in the science fiction movie Minority Report from 2002, which was based on the short story of the same name by Philip K. Dick from 1956.
Which was based on the short story of the same name. Hold up. So we now have this because it was in Minority Report?
Mm-hmm.
Golly.
Similar artificial intelligence AI technology is already in use in Japan to guide cities and patrol routes in some municipalities where crimes are statistically more likely to occur in specific locations at specific times. A crime and victimization risk model put in place by the Chicago Police Department in 2012 was determined to be inaccurate because it used historically skewed data, among other problematic applications of the technology.
Okay, so
What
they're
the
talking
heck
to...
was that?
Wait. So they're talking now about how the data is like bias. Okay. It's skewed.
Lay it on me.
AI now, much more cheery story in the Daily Mail. Artificial intelligence is potentially racist.
This is a lot more fun. We've got racist robots now, so we don't really. Basically, this is, they say Robocop may be getting a 21st century reboot as an algorithm has been found to predict future crime a week in advance with 90% accuracy. But they've got this AI tool that forecasts crime by learning patterns in crime and the geographic locations of violent and property offences. But like they say, it's been proven controversial as the model doesn't account for systemic biases in police enforcement and its complex relationship with crime in society. I'd say it's controversial. And bear in mind, I used to be a criminal intelligence analyst. This was my bread and butter for about 10 years. It's controversial because it doesn't predict anything. They're taking blocks of a city that are 1,000 feet by 1,000 feet, and they're predicting crimes happening in that block. I'm sorry, but that's not a laser-guided cruise missile. You're not going to be able to like pinpoint, oh, we need to send the police to this 1,000-foot square block. That's an absolute nonsense, and it's only to plus and minus 1 day. So yeah, this is they're predicting nothing. It's like, oh, crime happens in a city, it's going to happen in a city next week. Like we've known that for years. So this is just nothing really.
They've known.
What do you think?
Well, I think that's a good, like, first of all, I think that isn't the AI just looking at data reports? And so statistics aren't racist, they're just facts. And then secondly, I agree that, like, so what he's saying is that, like, so if you have a 1,000-foot by 1,000-foot square block.
That's right.
They're saying that, like, okay, there's going, geographically based on where that is, they're saying, there's going to be a crime in the week somewhere in this block.
Right.
Well, but we've always known that. You know what I mean? Like, you can look at different blocks and say, okay, this is going to have a crime. This isn't. So, they say it has, the earlier one says, it's not magical. It has limitations. Apparently the limitations are like who, what, when, where, and how, and why, and like all the big questions.
Right.
But we're getting there, and they're definitely trying to.
So you can see the direction they're going.
Exactly.
You know
like,
I mean?
they're definitely pushing for that.
We see the direction the future is headed.
Yes. I talk a lot.
No, you do great. What are you talking about? All right, starting Friday, you can get ticketed for excessive noise coming from your car, but will new Florida law be applied equally?
Okay, can I just say, my dad lied. My dad told me that this was a law from forever. You weren't allowed to bump music because you would get arrested.
The law says law enforcement officers can write a ticket if the music or other sound-making devices can be heard 25 feet from the car.
That's pretty far. That's far enough.
I'll turn it down or get a ticket. That's the message. Florida drivers will soon receive a citation for loud music. ABC Action News Polk County reporter Rebecca Petit tonight looking into the new law that is cracking down on car stereos.
This here is our most expensive build we've ever done in history here at Boulevard and my career as well.
John Lackey has been installing car stereos for nearly 25 years. He tells me people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the bass bumping in their cars.
There are different shows that people put on weekly, so we call it like parking lot blasters. They want to open up the doors, open up their back hatch.
Pretty soon, Florida drivers won't be allowed to crank up their car stereos. Beginning July 1st, police will begin enforcing the reenacted Florida statute that prohibits playing music within vehicles that can be plainly audible from 25 feet or more.
Be a safety hazard if you are the operator of that vehicle and you have your radio up so loud where you can't hear what's going on outside of the vehicle. You have other sirens and...
Get off my lawn! That's hilarious. Kelly, dagnabbit, turn that radio down.
And emergency vehicles that can come up behind you and you're not even aware of it.
The Bartow police captain tells me blasting your music could cost you a $114 fine. Lackey is not opposed to the loud music statute.
It is a good thing. It helps, clean up the sound, so to speak. I mean, nobody wants to be blasting their audio music at the red light.
But some drivers think it's an overreach.
After pouring so much money into my system personally, it's kind of like I just wasted all that money because now I can't enjoy it the way.
This is the effect that Stranger Things has had on the community. Do you
Is that
see
what that is?
1980s earring. Okay, we're back.
Man. I put so much money into it, dude.
He probably got that out of his dad's high school drawer or something. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, Billy, go ahead.
I want to, but I mean, at the same time, am I gonna abide by it completely? No.
Police.
Ooh,
the kid is Giga Chad.
He's a rebel.
The kid is a Giga Chad,
That's
and
right.
he is ungovernable. you know, what is it? Civil disobedience, you know? Hey, man, I'm not hurting anyone. You know what I mean? No way I'm not turning it down, man.
Say they'll focus on educating the public before issuing citations.
Okay. So we're going to let everybody know.
Well, I've been living wrong. All this time I could have been booming.
That's right. You've missed out now. It's too late.
Hey, no, okay. We're not going to touch on this for very long because, look, I didn't go back and find it, but I could. We did an episode that talked about some country had a rocket that was failed and that was going to crash into the moon. Okay? I think it was even Russia. I don't know for sure.
Dragon Slayer says, so a friend of mine works at a place that makes printed circuit boards, microchips, and other electronic components. It came to my attention that they are making parts for a Skynet type program. Okay, holy crap. And has anyone heard about the rise in ethanol limits in gasoline? It went from 10% to 15%. I had not heard about that.
You can't brush over Skynet.
15% ethanol will kill your engine. Better to pay more for the gas that has more gasoline in it. Hey guys, it's just what's happening. Skynet type program.
Anyway, I don't want to read all this.
So this is
something has crash landed on the moon. What is it? The space agency says they didn't send it there. NASA released this photo of the moon's surface highlighting a double crater. According to the agency, a mysterious rocket created 2 large holes when it crashed on the moon. They don't know where the rocket came from, that's what they say, but they do say it's the first one to create a double crater on impact.
Okay.
Okay, we just got to go back and find the episode where we talked about the rocket that was going to hit the moon, and then poof,
you're right.
Solved. Okay. All right. Is there any type of reward for solving this mystery? Was there? Because that would be great.
Now, I read this whole article and it gave me the hibby-jibbies. Have you ever heard of MAID? Medically assisted. Medically assisted. I'm so sorry. I'm fumbling.
Medical assistance in dying.
There you go. And then I tried to look up a video for this article. How can doctors be sure a medically assisted death is a peaceful death? Despite tens of thousands of MAID deaths and concerns over expanding eligibility for medical assistance in dying, little has been said about how people die. Here's what we know. In the final moments before pushing the syringe, Dr. Chantal Perrot will pause and ask a final time, the medications I'm going to give you will cause your death. Is this what you want? The Toronto family doctor has been providing medical assistance in dying, MAID, since the act was decriminalized in Canada. So Canada in the news a lot. We've been talking about it a lot. In 2016. Together, she and those colleagues across Canada willing to help end a life have presided over more than 21,000 deaths. Okay. 21,000 people who responded, yes, this is what I want. All right. People fall asleep with the first sedative, Perrot said. Lidocaine comes next to help numb the vein and prepare it for the third injection, propofol, which puts people into a deep coma. Propofol can sting as it flows through a vein. Lidocaine, what dentists use for freezing, can help reduce any burning sensation. When I'm providing the medications, I'm looking at their faces and I'm holding their hands, Perrot said. Dude, this whole article just gives me the hibby-jibbies.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a touch into that. And then looking for a video, I found this. And don't forget, this is in Canada.
Right.
Okay.
Since her death, we have been able to extensively review her medical records and have discovered that the diagnosis for which she received MAID had never been confirmed by a specialist as safeguard that is legislated in Bill C-7.
A medically assisted death has been confirmed as a charter right in Canada, but some families are warning that safeguards meant to ensure the protection of people aren't working.
We are appalled that unlike many other government approvals, there is currently no independent review of a doctor's assessment for MAID approval. Imagine a contractor decides to build a high-rise and the city doesn't review the application to ensure a structural engineer has signed off on the drawings.
Alicia Duncan and her sister are the daughters of Donna Duncan, an Abbotsford, BC woman who ended her life with medical assistance last year. Donna was 61 and suffered from post-concussion symptoms after a car crash.
Test after test ruled out any possible medical explanation. Her behavior also shifted, with an increase in obsessive compulsive behavior, angry outbursts, and depressed mood.
So she wasn't all right.
But she wasn't.
But
she was still functioning.
Exactly. Hold on.
On October
what blows your mind here is I'm gonna show you.
24th, 2021, we were shocked to find out that our mom had applied for and been approved that day to end her life through MAID.
Donna's daughters sought and
that day. Like,
right, because probably not giving you a whole lot of chance to change,
So like, wait, you don't want to sleep on it? They'll come that day?
Well, I mean, suicide is an impulsive decision.
Well, I'm just saying that's my point. So like here in America, even though in the most freest of gun states, like right. If you don't have your concealed carry card, you may have to wait up to 3 business days.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's because they want a cool down period in case you're like hot headed about something.
That's right. That's true.
And so, but hold up, y'all don't have any kind of
cool
safeguard
down,
or like to
Let's talk about it in 2 days. See if you feel the same.
Yeah, like let's talk about it in 2 days, man.
Right.
Received a mental health warrant, however.
I'm not even all the way against medically assisted because. For people who are really, really sick, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of really painful deaths. I'm not saying I'm for it, but I'm not all the way against it. I can certainly see. But, like, this woman didn't really have anything wrong. She had some depression, it seemed like.
The experienced psychiatric nurse, our mom, knew all the correct terms to ensure she was found sound of mind. On October 29th, within hours of being released from a psychiatric unit, our mom, at the age of 61, was killed through medical assistance and dying.
Donna's death is being investigated by police, but there are concerns this isn't a 1 in a million rarity. Conservative MPs were joined by 2 other families with similar cases and say they want the Common Senate Joint Committee on Medically Assisted Dying to examine safeguards in place.
But they don't let these people buy guns.
Right.
But you can kill yourself like in a day on a phone call. They'll just come stop by, because healthcare is free in Canada.
Are you sure this is what you want? Wow.
Are you sure this is what you want? Oh my gosh, man, I'm sorry, y'all. We got to be praying for Canada. That's sick, dude.
The issue carries extra urgency as in March of next year, Canada will allow a medically assisted death to Canadians whose only condition is a mental illness.
Cases of abuse, coercion, and non-compliance with so-called safeguards under Canada's medical assistance in dying regime are not a hypothetical. They are real, they are happening, and they are documented.
City News reached out to the office of the Justice Minister for a statement, but they didn't respond in time for broadcast.
I just think that it's up for, I would definitely look into it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would definitely, if they're going to be so stringent about guns, if they're not going to be as liberal as they are with guns,
right,
then you should not be so liberal with the suicide stuff, man. I don't know. So this is a thing. Apparently, the left is getting... So because one thing didn't happen, just so you know, what happened with the Roe situation, I pretty much just threw it back to the states.
Right.
Okay, so they're really freaking out, and like a normal temper tantrum, they're like, no, if it's bad here, then it's bad over here too then, right? Yeah. So we pretty much can't even be, So like, you're the one doing this. Calm down. You're freaking out. But no, they'll blow a top, man.
BCRI's inaugural Pride Month series thus far. So I am so appreciative of what these people who are married and who are gay are now looking to reinforce their marital situation with their spouses and the privileges that go along with marriage. And they are trying to shore up their rights by wills and powers of attorney and advanced healthcare directives and things that would provide outside of a marital situation rights that married people would typically have. So we've received dozens of inquiries on what people need to do to reinforce their marriage or to protect their marriage, or at least the legal parameters of their marriage, even if their marriage
preppers. They're prepping. That's what they're doing. I mean, this is them prepping. Okay. I don't know. All right. I don't want to step. Kelly, that's awful. My grandmother had cancer of the pancreas and liver
and lungs
all at the same time. At the end, the morphine couldn't touch the pain. Oh my gosh. And there wasn't any hope for defeating the cancer if assisted. If assisted suicide was an option, I think she'd have chosen it. Nancy, what's up? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And Cal, you have to be seen by 3 doctors that agree you are terminal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. You are right in mind. Remember, this article is from a country with few guns. That's right. That's right. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. That's awful. Let's see. All right. I hadn't shown this one. U.S. will face high gas prices as long as it takes.
For what?
The surge in gas prices isn't as painful as it looks. I don't know. It's like they're telling you.
I'm like, it hurts. I don't know. It hurts. I can't go nowhere. Poo water again.
Yeah. The new poo brew. New brew poo. Poo. Yeah.
Poo 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 poo.
Beer poo. Poop here. I don't know. Camper awakes to knife carrying killer crab at tent. Lucky to be alive.
Hey, for real, no joke. There is a theory that Amelia Earhart landed in an island that had these big old coconut crabs.
That's a stretch theory, though, man.
Tore her apart.
That's a stretch theory. Turtle Crossing Road causes 3 car crashes in New Jersey.
Okay, I feel like at some point you have to make the choice to just hit the animal and not kill the people. But that's just me.
Men rush to get vasectomies after Roe ruling.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. You have no idea the physical toll the 3 vasectomies have on a person.
Oy, 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 oy.
Alright, yeah, this article gave me the hibby-jibbies. And then we're going to end tonight on some freedom. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for some freedom. And thank the Lord for the farmers. Happening now, farmers who learned from Canadian freedom protesters are currently blockading the Netherlands-Germany border with tractors to protest the WEF climate change policies of their government.
That's right. Wow.
We hebben vandaag zaterdag de ronde van Niels gehad.
Wow.
Okay? So there's still freedom. There's still freedom out there.
Eric, we were demonetized many, many moons ago. We do have a PayPal if you feel so inclined. I think the link is in the bio.
What a blessing that would be. It's in the... But hey, we thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Crazy times.
Yep,
crazy
that's
times.
for sure. That's for sure. There's a lot of angles.
Unspecified times, man.
But good things are happening too. And, you know, hey, at least the abortion protests have stayed, for the most part, protests, except for a few instances.
Right.
So
well, you know, and that's been on a lot of folks' minds. Is I've heard from a lot of wiser men that I've been hearing is a lot of folks they feel something thick, and everybody's in this anxiety that there's something coming.
Yep.
And we don't know what the heck it is, but something is on the cusp.
That's right.
You know, and
That's right.
a lot of folks are getting nervous about July 4th. You know.
Yep. So.
You know, keep your heads on a swivel. You know, be smart. Who's your what's up?
Yep.
This is more freedom.
Free up! Holy shit!
Freedom Convoy protesters return to Ottawa for Canada Day.
Boom.
Trudeau when he hears the words Freedom Convoy on protest. All right, folks.
I'm out.
All right. So, in review, now's no time to be distracted. We need to be, you know,
That's right.
Doing the things.
Yep. If you can't be, you know, a lot of people see the writing on the wall. If you can't prep what you can while you can, because when...
To the best of your ability.
Right.
Okay, because when the proverbial ish hitting the fan is the masses waking up or something irreversible happening. When
Right.
in referring to we don't know what's coming or what might
Right.
happen. Well, you know, it could be that the dollar crashes.
That's
or
right.
something crazy with
Or
gases or some
massive-
kind of
right.
attack. But then there's going to be a run on the stores.
That's
and
right.
we're already experiencing slight shortages and
And
or
if there's
logistics issues. If it's not a shortage, it's a logistics issue. And so, and you know, for those in our boat, you know, if you can't necessarily like prep monetarily,
Right.
then prep in skills.
That's right.
And your practices and your disciplines.
Yep.
You know, and your
first
faith.
aid. Don't forget your first aid. Don't
Faith
forget.
is number one.
That's right.
Faith
That's
is
right.
number one. I know a lot of y'all don't like it when I go spiritual, but you know, freedom of
I was gonna
expression
say,
of religion.
He's almost
you know.
died like 3 times this year.
I thank the Lord
that's
I'm
what we
even here
got.
right now. I'm here because of him.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But
hey, we thank you guys for joining us tonight, clicking on the video. Please smash like if you can. Share us out. That would be awesome with maybe other like-minded folks.
That's right.
Hey, we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good evening. And we're praying for you guys. Please keep us in your prayers. Probably we might hop back on just to chat or for some odd July 4th stream or something like that. We'll see. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for clicking on the video, guys. And hey, we hope to talk to you soon.